Untitled-2 podcast. My name is Connor.
My name is Ash.
So Ash,
Yes.
this happened a while ago, and I meant to talk about it last episode, but we didn't. So I've finally finished Super Mario Odyssey. At least my personal end game, because I've seen people go even further than that.
Yeah.
So there's something like 820 unique moons in the game.
Really?
Something like that. By unique, that means there's a different quest for each one, basically.
Wow.
Some of them are multi-moons and have the value of 3. Mike's not pointed at me.
Mike's not pointed at me.
Well, yeah. So I've done all the individual little missions that lead up to a moon, and just the fact that there's 800 mini quests in the game is pretty incredible. So I've got like 829, something like that. My sale is gold, which is basically the game telling you, okay, you've done all the unique moons now. But I've seen people on Twitter that have 999 moons, and I thought that was where the end of the game would be. So I was looking at so I googled it to find out how people manage to do that without cheating. Turns out when you buy a moon from a shop, which counts as a unique moon the first time you do it, but you can keep going back and buying them and buying them and buying them, and they cost 100 gold each. So for the another 100 moons that I need, maybe even more, that's like 10,000 coins.
Wow.
And coins are hard to farm. So deads to the people who fucking did it, but there's no way I'm doing that. That's ridiculous.
That's mental.
But yeah, now that it's done, I've passed it on to you.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I don't have anywhere near the amount of moons you've got.
I think you've got like nearly 200 or something.
I think I got like 100, just over 100.
Right, okay.
14, I think it was last time I think that was earlier today, so.
Yeah. My advice to you would be to not, just get the required number of moons and then move on.
That's what I've been doing.
Because there's so many things that you can't do until you come back later that it's almost not worth it to try and get them all.
I've been every time I go to a new kingdom, I've just been getting the minimum. But then if I see 1 or 2 moons as I'm heading back, I'll go grab those anyway. Yeah. Well, that's basically what I've been doing. Because
first time I played it, I'd go to a kingdom and need 20 moons, and then I'd get like 60. No, that's ridiculous. It'd need 15 moons, and I'd get 30 or something like that. And I thought I was making progress, and then I got to the end game, saw how many moons there were that I couldn't get until I got to the end game, and then there was the extra moons that you get as well. And I just kind of wish I'd enjoyed the game as it is, and then gone back for all the farming bullshit.
I've gone back to one kingdom, the first kingdom, not the hat one, the one after it. I was showing someone the game, and I was just messing around in it, and I got a bunch of moons from there. I think I probably got nearly every moon that you can get before, obviously you get the end game shit.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 I'm missing, but yeah, I've been enjoying it. Didn't realise how hard it would be for kids to play it though. Yeah,
there's some bits where I'm like, wow, is a kid really going to be able to do this?
Yeah, well, I let my nieces and my nephew play it, and they were having a pretty hard time. Every time they got to summit. It was only in the first few minutes of the game as well. They kept forgetting that the whole game was based around throwing the cap. That's the whole mechanics of everything. If there's something that you think can be interacted with, you have to throw your hat at it.
Yeah.
And they just kept forgetting that. They have to use your hat. So they'd get to an area, they'd run around for a bit, die a few times, then they'd just turn to me and what do I have to do? And I'm like, I've fucking told you 10 times already. It's about throwing your hat. Throw your hat at everything. Funny enough as well, Holly, my niece, she we were talking about it a few weeks ago before obviously you lent me your copy, and she was like, oh, you're gonna get that hat throwing game, and I was all like, what hat throwing game are you talking about, Holly? Oh, it's the guy with the hat. I'm like, you mean Mario? And he's like, yeah, but I call it the hat throwing game. I was like, yeah, but it's Mario. Call it Mario, you muppet. But yeah, when she got hold of it, she had a really hard time with it. She didn't know what to do, and she's 8 or something. So.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed when I was progressing through the game, because I've been posting stuff on Twitter as I go along, is that because I got the game when it came out and just played it non-stop until finishing it whenever I could, I found that a lot of times when I was stuck on a certain part, if I went on Twitter, everybody else who was posting at the time was also stuck on that part.
Yeah.
And it was really weird to see how, like, you remember that jump rope thing that I got you to do because it was ridiculous. Like, when we were stuck on that, so was everybody else. And when I was doing the end game bit that I talked about a couple of podcasts ago, I'd go on Twitter and so many other people would be stuck on that bit as well. And I thought it was quite interesting how, like, everybody who started when the game came out was progressing at the same pace. Like, there's so many options, different directions you can go, different moons you can go for. You explore to your heart's content and do it in any order you want, but for some reason, everybody was progressing at the same rate. Like, that was pretty weird.
I like how big the game is as well. Like, so big that even the reviewers who got all the copies early, if that even happened, probably wouldn't have enough time to write down like a complete guide, so people were still in the dark about it.
Yeah.
Because like it happens a lot these days where you'll get a new game and obviously a reviewer's had his copy for a month or two, and on day one when the game's released, the reviewer starts uploading guides and stuff like that, and secrets and stuff, and it's like it's just so easy to like get stuck in a part and then go Google it and you have your immediate answer. And obviously we didn't have that in like the 90s and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think a lot of skill gets lost because of it, because you just think, oh, just fucking Google it.
Yeah.
But like with Mario, obviously you couldn't do that, so I don't know, probably very therapeutic playing a game in today's world where you just didn't have the answers.
Right, it was up to you to discover what it was. And
I mean, I don't Google stuff much anyway, but
no, I don't make a habit of it either.
Sometimes if I'm playing a game and it's like I've only got a few hours left of the day because I've been busy, I'm like, oh, I can't be asked just wasting time trying to figure this out. So I do have, like, Google stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Just to progress, keep it flowing. But yeah, it's just nice to get a hold of a game that doesn't have all the answers just thrown at you.
Yeah. Got a bit of wind there, you keep burping mid-word.
Yeah.
So I saw this interesting theory the other day about Stranger Things.
Okay.
So I think it's far enough in the future now that we can talk about spoilers, but you know, at the end, after the dance, you get that scene where Hopper and fucking Will's mum,
Joyce,
like stood by car smoking and whatever.
Yeah.
And then the camera goes down to the ground and then turns
does a
over.
really awesome shot where it rotates.
Yeah, and it goes into the upside down. Some people noticed, and you know, posted videos of it, that the modern day cars, when it goes up into the upside down, are replaced by like 1950s era cars.
Right.
So the theory is that something happened when Joyce and Hopper were younger that split the dimensions into two.
Ah.
And in one dimension, things are fucked up and it's the upside down, and in the other dimension, you know, things went on as intended.
I like how the whole show's based off of like a real story. There was an actual government building in Montauk, I think the place is called, where they were doing experiments and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think it affected the town or something.
Right.
Obviously not as like large scale and you know, like impending doom styles as fucking Stranger Things, but it is based off a real life event.
That's really cool.
Yeah, the building is still there as well, because you know, the facility where everything happens, like that building in Montauk is still standing, but you don't have to think you're allowed anywhere near it. It's still protected by the government and stuff.
Oh, that's weird.
That's some weird shit that went on.
There's so much like fucking conspiracy porn in America.
Yeah. Like, it's weird that most of it ends up being true as well. Like, have you heard about the whole MK Ultra thing?
No.
They were using...
Isn't that a Mortal Kombat game?
It was a CIA-led program, I believe, and they were using unwilling and like unknowing people from the public. They were like basically subjecting them to lethal amounts of like LSD and stuff like that, and trying to... The whole thing was they were trying to make like a mind control drug, and they were using like psychoactive fucking like LSD and shit like that, and they would hospitals were getting patients in and stuff like that, and they were doing these tests on the fucking sly.
What the fuck?
Like that. You should Google it. It was like they had to make all the records public because of like some freedom of speech act or something like that. But obviously the director of the CIA redacted a lot of information. There's a lot of black on these pages that you can read online, and he shredded a lot of fucking information about it as well.
Wow.
But so it's pretty bad when you read about it, with the things they did. But if he's shredded a bunch of shit, it obviously got worse.
Yeah.
So there's things that we'll never even know about until someone obviously talks about it. With another Edward Snowden, I'd love to know what they did with MK Ultra.
Yeah.
But it's not just America either. Japan during World War II, was it? They did a lot of fucked up shit.
But I feel like it's... Well, Russia as well. But, like, Russia's known for doing fucked up shit, so...
Yeah, but, like, the Japanese were legit, like, fucking freezing parts of people's limbs and letting them thaw and see what happened, and, like, surgically conjoining people and stuff like that, just torturing them and seeing what happens. Some proper crazy shit.
That's where they get all their ideas for anime.
Isn't it?
But I feel like when you live in a world as boring as England, when you look to something like that, it's like some kind of fantasy world. It's like hard to believe.
England's not entirely boring. There's a lot of conspiracy theories in England as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like our government's a bit of a joke. We don't see it as the force that they see their government in America or Japan.
Well, I don't know. Our government, a lot of people in the government all grew up rich as fuck with a silver spoon in their mouth and all that. And they've all been, at some point, part of some proper shadowy fucking gentleman's club and stuff like that. And who knows what the fuck goes on there behind closed doors and stuff. I mean, fucking Forehead put his penis in a pig's mouth or something, didn't he?
So they say. So speaking of Stranger Things, because we were speaking about that before we went off on a tangent, I was on the bus the other day, and this guy wheels on his daughter in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And she was really loud, like speaking to the driver really loudly. Just like, oh, I'd like to go here, please, and all this. So she sits down in front of the bus. She's already sitting down, but she gets wheeled to the wheelchair space at the front of the bus, opposite an old woman. And this old woman, like, I don't know what it is about old women, but they feel this need to get involved with people who, you know, seem like they're not as well off as other people. But she was like, oh, where are you going? She was like, oh, I'm going to see my mum. Like, really loud. Like, she wanted everybody to know her life story. So, yeah, she was talking about how her mum and dad had broke up, but she comes from a gypsy traveller family.
Wow.
And she says, I don't remember it because I was really young, but I used to travel all over, but they've settled now.
Traditional gypsies, like, you know, fucking Jewish witches and shit like that, or like, what we call pikeys.
Yeah, pikey.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to buy a dag? Do you like dags? I don't want to buy a caravan with no fucking wheels. So like that. And so she's talking about, at some point I found out, I can't remember how, but she was 14. She was talking about her life, and she was like, oh, I'm just 14. And then I like zoned out of the conversation. And then what caught my attention was she was talking about getting married. She was like, oh, he's really nice. I haven't met him that much, but like my parents set it up. And this old lady clearly thought it was bizarre, but she was like being really nice. And she was like, oh, it's arranged marriage, is it? Yeah. So I thought, that's fucking bizarre. Like, she must be really mature. Because she did seem mature. She was like having a mature conversation. I was like, she must be really mature if like she's getting married at 14. Or just thinking about that kind of thing at 14. Yeah.
She be as mature as she wants, man. Fucking law's law. I don't care if she's a pikey.
But what really threw me was after she was talking about getting married and all this mature shit and like sorting her life out and plans for the future. She said to this old lady, because she had this like rabbit teddy, she was like, do you ever talk to your teddies? And I was like, okay, that's a weird tangent. And the old lady was like, oh yeah, I talk to mine all the time, it's perfectly normal. And she was like, the best thing about talking to inanimate objects is they can't talk back. And the little girl goes, oh, mine talk back all the time. I have some really good conversations with my teddies. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I have a very similar reaction to Mark Wahlberg in, you know, the Ted movie, where fucking, what's his name, Giovanni Ribisi, fucking, and his son walk up to him, and obviously the normal thing to do would be to, like, you know, make your voice a little higher and say shit like, alright buddy, and like you bend down and talk to the kid.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, stand up straight when you talk to me, and Mark Wahlberg's just like, why the fuck would he say that? Like, that's the reaction I've got about when people talk to me on the bus and like, they're all like, trying to give me the life story and shit. I'm just like, why the fuck are you telling me?
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought that was really bizarre. So, I want to talk about it.
Did she ever talk about why she ended up in a wheelchair?
No.
I imagine with her being a pikey, she probably got punched out by someone. And got paralysed from it.
Well, I think what happened was, so her parents were arranging this marriage with like her fucking cousin or whoever, and so they said, "Oh, would you like to marry our daughter?" And his response was, "Why would I want a wife with no fucking wheels?"
Oh man.
That was great.
When she got off the bus, did she just look at the old lady and go, "Alana Stroll always pays the debts." Fucking cousins, mate.
So the other day, I
Yep.
got Amazon Echo Dot.
You did?
So I've been messing around with Alexa a bit, you know, feeling her up a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, seeing how far I can go with her.
Trying to flick that little dot, eh?
Yeah, flick that dot. So it's pretty cool. Like, I hadn't had any problems with it until you came over today, and then like every time we spoke to her, she'd like misunderstand or whatever. But I wanted one a while ago because your family got one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. That's pretty cool. But my internet in my old apartment was abysmal, and she would have to be where the modem was, which was nowhere near the living room, so it'd be completely useless. But because of Black Friday sales were on, and because I've moved to a new apartment with better Wi-Fi, I won't say better internet, I thought it'd be worth it. So I got it. It's good. I've been listening to music a lot more than I used to, because I never used to like just be like, oh, put music on, but now I can just be like, Alexa, put some Post Malone on, something like that. And it's pretty dope.
Yeah, she's very convenient. Yeah, I'll give her that.
I think the thing I've used her most for though is setting timers when I'm cooking.
It's very useful. For
Also, when I'm on my exercise bike, I'll say, Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes, and then I'll just go non-stop until I hear her little timer. Plus, I'll ask her to put a workout playlist on or something, and it helps me keep pace on the bike rather than getting tired and slowing down and stuff. Plus, I'll get to the last 5 minutes and I'll be drenched in sweat and I'll be aching all over and exhausted, and then she'll put on like a proper sick beat and I'll just suddenly get this energy out of nowhere.
A second wind, just like...
Yeah. So, speaking of AI, I don't know why we were talking about it at work. I think there was a documentary about it recently, and they all saw it on BBC or something, so they were talking about it. But we were talking about sex robots.
Yeah.
And so there's this girl at work, and she was like, "Oh, it's disgusting. I don't get it. The whole idea of it's just seeding and all this." And perfectly agreeable sentiment.
Nice pun though, seedy.
Well, so this reminded me of a story I read a while ago that these guys who'd invented this like super sex robot took her to a convention, and they just left her sat on a couch, like as an exhibit to go and look at and stuff. And then when they went to collect her, she needed like thousands of pounds of replacement parts because they just fucked her up, mate. The guy said the most damage that was done to her was on her left tit. Because the amount of people that walked up and had a good feel to see if they were real. But some people just got like really handsy and managed to break a tit off. But yeah, I can't remember the details, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading in the article that a few guys had actually just fucked her and like fingered her and destroyed her. And
why would you finger a robot?
I get no, out of curiosity, surely. Like you're like, oh, how real is it? And
oh, so like just sticking a finger up just to see what it's like inside, or just like legitimately just finger blasting it
until the orgasm protocol kicks in.
Yeah. Initiating orgasm.
So at work, this got us like googling like the top 6 sex robots was the article that we found. The ones that are like available for purchase and functional, have AI and all this shit. And there were a lot of really ugly ones. There was one that was like $6,000 and it didn't even look human. Yeah, it was just so uncanny valley and unreal. And then you get to the bottom of the list, and there was this one. I think she was called like Rachel,
Right.
something like that. And it looked like a woman. Like, it was really good. Even the hair looked real. And I was like, whoa, they're selling women on it. £1,500.
Wow.
Isn't that
Did you have like
unbelievable?
Does she
For
have
a fucking robot for your home, just to fuck.
Why?
That's incredibly cheap.
Why would you buy a robot? Just buy those little doll things.
Buy one of those pocket pussies for your tablet.
Yeah, does she have a special protocol for if you scream "we were on a break"? She can like reel off some friends pun.
Maybe. I wonder what happens if you say that to. Oh, our friend tried that when we were messing around with Alexa. She was like, "Alexa, we're Ross and Rachel really on a break."
This article that everyone were reading at work, not the one about the sex robots, the one that got them talking about AI. Was it about? There's this. You ever seen that female robot? Shouldn't have hair, like all the back of her head's exposed.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But she does some facial.
She's got citizenship in.
Yeah. Recently though, apparently she told researchers that she wants a baby.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Is that what got them all to start talking?
No, they saw a documentary about sex robots.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
I was like, oh, she wants a baby.
Oh. She was like, she made some really intelligent points about it though. I don't know if it was like pre-scripted in her to say stuff like that.
Isn't she learning AI?
Potentially. I read that she's not actually like mobile. She's just a glorified chatbot.
Basically.
So,
wait though, Boston Dynamics are all over it. They can backflip.
Yeah, I know, it's insane.
Boston Dynamics is sort of Skynet of the future.
Yeah. Some really crazy shit going on in there.
Cool though.
I remember a while ago when they posted that video of them just bullying robots, like kicking them around.
Yeah,
and there was that one that was trying to pick up
boxes,
and they just kept slapping it out of his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And then someone was like, "This is why they're gonna rise up."
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's really cool. I think maybe the next 100 years we'll start seeing like low skilled jobs getting replaced with robots.
Yeah, don't know how good of a thing that is though. But then manufacturing robots will become a job.
But they'll have robots making robots.
That's very true. Yeah.
Low skilled jobs will obviously be phased out in the future because if you can replace it with something that's 100% efficient all the time,
yeah, obviously you're gonna do it.
It's so much easier paying maintenance on a robot that's broken down than it is paying like severance packages and wages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which means there's gonna be a lot of unemployed people, which I'm hoping will be good because then that means people can focus on more creative things and they can develop skills that robots can't do yet.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more artists, I feel like. There'll be a lot more opportunity for them as well.
Yeah, so it's a shame we probably won't live that long to see it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I live right until the point they start letting us download our fucking consciousness into an Android, and I'm like a super rich old geezer, and I'm like, I'm doing it. Yeah, young again.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. So I've got a new favourite animal.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I've heard the name of this animal before, but never actually seen it or known what it did or anything. But lately, me and Candice have been watching the Blue Planet series on BBC. So this is about ocean creatures, deep sea creatures, and stuff like that. There was an episode about the deep ocean,
right?
And there's this. Like this is. I'm going off on a tangent, but I'll come back to my favorite animal. So there's this. There's this shark that lives down there.
Yeah. Called
the six-gill shark.
Okay.
Lives right at the bottom of the ocean. It's
got 6 gills.
It's got 6 gills. It doesn't need to eat for a year. It goes a year without eating.
I don't trust it.
I know. It's unreal. It's like finding out spiders can survive in a vacuum and never
exactly why I don't trust spiders, mate. Don't trust any creature that can survive in a vacuum and up to a year without eating.
Yep.
There's something weird going on there, mate.
So, actually, in this whole show, there's a lot of animals that can go for fucking months without eating. I think it's because just swimming around is like pretty low energy for a fish.
Maybe.
But anyway, so there's this bit where this whale carcass falls to the bottom of the ocean. And the 6-gill shark catches the scent of blood. or death or whatever catches the scent of rotten flesh. So it starts this like so. It's like such a horror film, like something so unreal. The shark just goes up to this rotting carcass and it just grabs it and starts twisting like an alligator. And you see these fucking clouds of blood just coming out of it, and it's like, whoa, fucking hell, nature.
Nature, you scary.
And then the blood gets into the water, which gets carried downstream, and then fucking ton more 6-gill sharks come. Within hours, this whale carcass is fuck all.
Wow.
And then they don't have to eat again for a year. Just fucking swim off, mate.
That's mental.
But there's nothing for animals to do but eat and fuck.
Pretty much.
So if they don't have to eat for a year, imagine the fucking orgies 6-gill sharks are having.
I think it's different for creatures like that because obviously they don't have the same level of sentience as we do, or even a handful of mammals.
So they don't get bored.
They're probably just running routines over and over again, like a computer or something. Like, do I need to eat? Nope. Okay. Do I need to eat? Nope. Okay.
So once all this flesh is gone, there's just bones left and little bits of flesh, and loads more deep sea creatures come along. There's worm. Oh, there's this proper horrifying scene where it's just covered in worms that eat bone marrow.
Yeah.
And it leaves like loads of little holes across the bone. Oh, it's ridiculous, mate. But yeah, that was just a cool episode. That was like episode 2. Yeah. So my new favourite animal or creature, it feels weird saying animal when it's about a fish, but it's the cuttlefish, mate.
Okay.
Have you seen a cuttlefish? You know what a cuttlefish does, mate?
I don't know what it does, I've seen it.
So it's basically like a little squid, for those that don't know. And it changes skin colour, which is cool. Like, I've seen a chameleon do it. I had a friend that had a chameleon. And it changes colour, but it's so slow. Like, it's really slow, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Nature's not fucking sci-fi film.
I don't know, I've seen some creatures that can do it fast.
You see fucking cuttlefish, mate, they just flash colour up and down. It's like an LCD screen for skin, mate. It's beautiful.
There's a creature... Is it live in the deep sea? The deep parts?
It's kind of all over.
Is it translucent?
No.
Oh, well, I've seen a creature that lives in the deep sea that's translucent, and that's got some proper vibrant LED shit going on.
All right.
There's also a fish that's got a translucent head. You can see his brain.
The episode about the deep ocean was like all the different ways that these fish see up to make sure they know when predators are coming. And there was the one with a see-through head, and it could see straight up.
It looks like its nostrils are its eyes at first glance.
Yeah.
But it's not. It sees through the brain bit.
Yeah.
It's mental.
And there's these fish called scabbard fish that swim upright.
Yeah.
So they're always looking up, and they can always see what's coming. But yeah, the cuttlefish, it changes skin colour so rapidly that it hypnotises crabs.
Wow.
Like a crab will be like defending itself, and then it'll just see its skin like...
Fucking Hypnotoad's got competition.
Yeah, and the crab will just like go in a daze, and then the cuttlefish will just grab it and fucking munch the shit out of it.
You ever see that video of a crab getting sucked through an underwater pipe?
No.
Like a hole about 1 millimetre size, mate. Crab just fucking... It's like a high pressure situation as well. Crab just crawls over it, and then in like a split second it's just gone. It's sucked through the fucking hole.
What?
And obviously crabs have got hard shells. It just straight through, gone.
Wow.
Don't fuck with pressure, mate.
So we watched an episode yesterday, or maybe the day before, which had cuttlefish in it again, and I was like, oh yes, sick. Fucking love cuttlefish, mate. And he was talking about like the mating habits of cuttlefish, and there was this huge Goliath of a cuttlefish, and it attracted a female and everything, and it fucked the female, and then it was like it showed this really small cuttlefish, and David Attenborough was like, this smaller male hasn't got a chance against the larger cuttlefish, and then the female was like, all right, I've had you, and she put this white. She changed the skin color, so she had this white stripe down her side, and she kept it pointed at the one she'd already had sex with, and that means I'm not interested anymore. But he didn't want other cuttlefish to have her, so he just stayed in the water, hovering above her, like fending off other male cuttlefish that were interested. And then this little small cuttlefish, fucking genius, right? It changed its skin colour to make it look like a female. Went over to the large one, like, well, he mimicked the female that was under him. So he waited till he wasn't looking, put the white stripe across his side and everything, went up to the male one, and the male one saw him and was like, oh, it's just that girl that's under me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, right? Swam under him, fucked his girlfriend right underneath him, and then pissed off.
Wow.
It was brilliant, mate. That's fucking genius.
Nature's like, it's so crazy the ways they get around things.
I know.
And people like to think like some dickhead in the cloud did it.
Well, speaking of that, they apparently they caught an octopus doing a thing they've never seen an octopus do before. An octopus do before. So there was loads of octopus just hanging around, and there's like these things called pajama sharks, and they're these long thin sharks that have like stripes, so they look like they're in pajamas basically, and they kill octopus. They eat octopus like rapid. And they can smell them as well. So these octopus are like trying to eat while avoiding these fucking lightning fast pajama sharks. And the guy was saying that they all have their own unique identity, and there was this female octopus that they were really endeared by because she had this like really nice personality, and she was always like showing off for the camera and stuff. And then the pajama shark comes along and it attacks her, and they were like, "Oh, that's it. She's fucked. We just made friends with this octopus and now she's dead." And they're just filming the whole thing. They don't intervene or anything. They've got like this code not to intervene with nature.
Same code that they have aboard the ship on Star Trek, right?
Yeah, it's something like that, yeah. So the octopus wraps itself around the shark's face and starts stuffing its tentacles inside the shark's gills so it can't breathe.
Yeah.
Until the shark gives up and fucks off. Like panics and fucks off, and then the octopus gets away, and they're like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" So they kept following her, and then she got into this like clearing between loads of rocks and started gathering shells and little rocks and stuff, and held and pressed against her body, and created this like structure that looked like a rock with loads of shells on it. And the pajama sharks could smell an octopus, so they kept nudging her and stuff, but she was just rolling around like a rock.
Wow.
She just made herself like a suit of armour out of shells and just stayed there until the sharks lost interest.
That's insane.
It's incredible. Like, I'm so in awe about this whole series. Like, there's so much cool shit that goes on under the ocean, mate.
I read I watched a video on about how they managed to get the really cool shots in what was it fucking he did the second series of that
Planet
Earth, yeah. And it was just like the history of Planet Earth, obviously, because the first one was done ages ago before, because everything was filmed on 32mm, and obviously big cameras for that big heavy shit you can't lug around.
Yeah.
And so the first one, no one wanted to film anything in 16mm because even though you could carry the cameras around a lot easier with lighter, no one wanted to film it because it's lower quality. But David and I were like, nah, fuck it, mate, we've got to go out there and we've got to film it up close and stuff like that. And back then, if they wanted to film like a wolf on a hunt, they had to like drive in a truck, put the camera down, film the wolf, and as the wolf runs off, they got to put the fucking camera back in, drive 100 feet that way, put it back down, and quickly film. Because they had to keep cutting in between and all that shit. But in this one, because the technology is like so much more advanced, they've got like helicopters with gimbals in it, and, like gyroscopes and that, so it can stabilize footage.
Yeah.
And so they managed to film like an entire hunt for a wolf, just up in like a few 100 feet in the sky, so it didn't scare anything off, and it just zoomed right in and kept the camera all stable and shit.
We're going to need to pause the podcast for a second. And we're back. Sorry about that. I got a phone call from a delivery driver who came early, so I believe we were talking about the cameras in Planet Earth.
Yeah, basically mentioning how they used gimbals for steady shots and all that, and how they managed to. They also use a lot of panning and stuff like that. They also said that when they filmed the penguin episode, they like took dollies and all sorts of gear and stuff, but they never unpacked it because they just used the gimbal mounted fucking chest rig thing, so they could like get right down with the penguins and then stand up and pan the camera up and see across and all that. Which was
they used a lot of hidden cameras and shit as well.
Yeah. Which I really liked the Planet Earth too because it felt like a Hollywood production.
Yeah. Well, it's the same for Blue Ocean. Oh, is that what it's called? Blue Planet.
Yeah.
Because like they were talking about how they film stuff as well, and they've got these like really cool things where they can like put a camera on something and it'll suction itself on, so they'll like have cameras on dolphins and shit like that.
Oh yeah,
And it's really cool.
That's pretty fun.
So they can get like a dolphin eye view and shit like that.
Awful for the dolphin though. They've got a fucking camera stuck to them for it.
Yeah, it's not great.
Speaking of water creatures though, did you ever notice how they don't have great white sharks in aquariums and stuff?
Yeah, they don't. You're right.
Because you know why?
Why?
They end up dying really quickly afterwards.
Really?
Because of the transportation thing. I think the longest I've ever had one in an aquarium was 6 months, and then when they set it free, it died like shortly after.
No way.
But yeah, I think I forgot what aquarium it was, but they found a great white like at a really young age, and they did some crazy shit transporting it because obviously great white can't. It has to have water continuously flowing through its mouth to get into its gills so it can breathe.
Yeah.
And like if it like gets interrupted for a short amount of time while it gets like delivered to the aquarium, it starts like a death process and they don't last very long.
Yeah, I heard about that a long time ago. Like, you know when someone asks you, "Oh, tell me a joke," and then you can never think of a joke. Whenever someone asks me to tell them a fact, I always had that fact that if a shark stops swimming for long enough, it'll just drown.
Yeah. Also, great whites even, they live very deep and far out in the ocean, so they're used to swimming for a long period of time really fast, and they never have to turn basically unless they want to. But obviously in an aquarium they can't make really big pools, so it's very frequent that they bump up against the side and it just tears chunks off the skin and whatnot.
Ouch.
So they just don't keep them in captivity. Which is good.
Have you seen that video from an aquarium where they had it looked like a window into a pool or whatever, but it was really a huge touchscreen.
Oh yeah.
And basically, if you go up to it and put your hand on the glass or touch the glass in any way, a fucking great white shark swims like super fast at the screen and then it cracks.
Yeah.
And scares the shit out.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of footage of people like ducking for cover and that.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. Did you ever watch that documentary, Blackfish?
Yeah.
That was very heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
It's crazy.
I was talking about that the other day, actually. It's weird that you bring it up.
It's weird that a lot of the SeaWorld trainers that were talking on the documentary, I went to go see the whole Shamu show when I was younger in SeaWorld, and I recognised all their faces. Like, oh man, I've seen that bitch do like dive off a fucking great white's mouth and do a backflip and whatnot.
A great white?
Great white fucking killer whale.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. But yeah, it was really, really heartbreaking. Like talking about how they ripped him from the families and stuff, and then they hit you with the fact that killer whales are like one of the most emotional mammals on the planet, and it's just like fuck out. And
the thing with the dorsal fin, like it bends and then they can't swim in a straight line anymore, they just swim in circles.
Yeah, there's a few theories on why it curves as well. One, because the pools are so small,
they do swim in circles.
They can only swim in a circle, so it just bends over. But then there was also one where, because they live quite deep in the ocean,
the pressure keeps
it upright as they're growing. Obviously, when they get fucking kidnapped. As a child. That's basically what it is, man. Obviously, when they grow up, they don't have that pressure to keep it upright. Yeah. But it was fucking kidnapping. Like, they got sailors to go out in the middle of the ocean, kill off the fucking older killer whales and steal the younger ones, mate. There was that one sailor guy when he was talking about how, as he was sailing away with his, cargo, he could hear all the older killer whales like crying in the distance and stuff as he sailed off.
So it's really, really sad documentary.
Yeah.
So, bringing the mood up from that.
Yes, please do. I'm going to cry.
It's Christmas soon, after this podcast goes out.
Yeah.
It's like 3 days from when I publish it. Yeah. And I believe you had an interesting fact about Christmas music.
Yeah. Disclaimer before I talk about it, like, there is some debate online about it, but I think it's mainly just the fact that when I watched this video, it was just represented wrong. But basically, it was about how a lot of Christmas songs, even the ones that are made in the last few decades, sound really like old-timey and, you know, like from a long period ago. My bad. And it was basically down to... I've got some notes on my phone. There was an album that came out in 1963, I think. I forgot what it's called. I'll find out for you. But basically, there was a song on it that... so the album was called A Christmas Gift for You by Phil Spector.
Right.
It was released in 1963, but it wasn't really popular. Then it was like re-released 9 years later, and obviously it garnered much more acclaim. And there's a song on it called "Baby Please Come Home." I'm sure you know the song. If I played it for you, you know it.
Probably.
And so Mariah Carey's song "All I Want for Christmas" was basically like a direct study of that song.
Right.
Like the way it starts, when you know the chords playing really fast in 16th notes, and then it goes dun 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 dun, and then it goes into the song. So basically, whoever wrote Mariah Carey's song basically used that as a style study.
Right. Okay.
But in 1942, there was an album called White Christmas by a guy called Irving Berlin.
Right.
And it had it was basically, that was like, I think, responsible for the whole feel of Christmas songs from that day forward.
Yeah.
And it's basically due to a half diminished chord, and this is where it like gets like controversial amongst people that are like super deep into music theory. Some people say it was like a B6 chord or something like that. But basically, Mariah Carey's chord progression was C major to C major 7 to F major 7, I think, or just F major, down to that D half diminished chord.
Yeah.
And Irving Berlin's one was C major to C7 to F major, down to that half diminished chord.
Right.
And basically, back then, a lot of music was influenced by jazz, which is why there's a lot of fucking seventh chords in it. But I think the whole thing was the F major was like a subdominant chord, and then it melts down into the half diminished chord, which makes that really like Christmassy feel to it.
Right.
And the whole like controversy is like people thought they got it wrong and they focused on just one element of the song, which is true. Like if you go, you can always go deeper with music theory, but basically without throwing bells and sleigh bells into the mix, it's all basically it's that fucking F major down to a D half diminished chord that makes it feel really Christmassy. Yeah, I was gonna show you the songs before we started this podcast. The what is it? The Baby Please Come Home versus the Mariah Carey one.
Yeah.
Basically, like a lot of modern, I'd say modern, like Christmas songs in the last few decades.
Yeah.
I think most of them feature like half diminished chords and a lot of C majors, major 7 chords and stuff like that.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
There's like a formula for creating a Christmas song, like.
Pretty much. I mean, obviously, sleigh bells and all that. Yeah. Got to have that.
Well, I remember a long time ago when I had a YouTube channel, I wanted you to make a Christmassy version, and all that ended up happening was I added sleigh bells to it, and suddenly it was Christmas.
Yeah. Well, obviously, sleigh bells help a lot. But those jazzy chords, I think, are probably where the meat, like the because first you got to like write chord progressions and stuff, and I think that's the very first thing you should do with a Christmas song is like throwing seventh chords and maybe a half diminished chord. Yeah. But yeah, and obviously you showed me a Christmas song today by you said it was Sia.
Yeah, Sia. Yeah.
And that obviously didn't have...
Just to clarify, I only showed you it because it was a new Christmas song. We don't get many of those. I didn't show you it because I like it.
Yeah. But like I noticed that was very light on melody. Like there wasn't jazzy
it was
chords
a lot of
and stuff.
drums and stuff on it.
It didn't feel Christmassy, even though she was singing about Christmas in it.
Yeah.
But it was interesting when I learned about this half diminished chord stuff, because you know the Pogues. The
Pogues?
Yeah, there's a band called the Pogues. I forgot what it's called, but it's a song about Christmas in New York, basically. It's the one with all the swear words in it. It's the Irish.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, that has a very Christmassy feel to it as well, but they don't use the half diminished chords and stuff. In fact, they just use standard.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Because that is very different from... Maybe it's just because we hear it at Christmas. Maybe it's just an association that we've given it.
But yeah, I don't know. I like to say that that's like probably the best Christmas song, but you hear it once and you're like, oh, I like this, and then you hear it the next time, like a few hours later on the radio, and you're like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I feel like not just Christmas songs, but all songs of that type. Like if somebody does a song for like Red Nose Day or some kind of charity, or like back in the day, like in the 90s, every time England was in the World Cup, we'd have an England football song. I feel like all them Christmas songs included all have a similar feel, and I think it's because they don't take it seriously. It doesn't feel like it's worth it to them because it's just for this one. It's not to be listened to for the rest of forever. It's just a celebration of an event.
They'll probably be like, right, we need to write a new anthem to celebrate, this particular World Cup or whatever football event. And like, what did we do for the last one? Like, what popular song was the anthem for that? And I'm like, right, let's make it like that. And they do a style study, and then being too close,
it just becomes the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it happens a lot, especially with children in need. Like there'll always be a song that comes out of that. Yeah, it used to be Peter Kay all the time.
I find what they do as well, a popular thing is they'll get a song that already exists and they'll just change the lyrics to "Come on England."
Yeah,
and it's like, shut up, mate, fucking football dickheads. That's all they say is like, "Come on, get in." It's like, can you not think of any other way that hasn't been done before to vocalise your support?
Yeah, I know. So what do you think of Christmas? What's your thoughts on Christmas at this particular moment in time?
Overall, I enjoy the experience, but it's mainly due to the atmosphere. There's just something very relaxing and cosy about that time of year where it's really cold outside.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing knitwear and stuff like that. You come inside, maybe someone's cooking something Christmassy, or like they're baking a Christmas cake. It's got a nice aroma in the air. It's super warm and cozy inside. You can and obviously everyone's gearing down for the holiday to relax. Unless you're a parent, you're gearing up because it's going to be a shit time for you. And so everyone's just like mellowing out, and it's just nice to sit down and waste a few hours just doing nothing, listening to the radio, maybe just like, I don't know, playing on your phone or talking with people. It's a very nice, relaxing atmosphere. I don't like how commercialised it is. I fucking hate it. Like, we've been getting like the odd Christmas adverts and things in the media, and just going around. You got your local Tesco, and they've been selling Christmas stuff for the last 2 months.
Yeah, since October.
Since like October. Like, they don't wait to get fucking Halloween out of the way.
Yeah. So what I want to say about this is, for the past like 4 or 5 years, I haven't felt good about Christmas. I thought Christmas is shit. Yeah. I'm trying to think about why I think Christmas is shit. Like, I have had some shit Christmases lately, like my family's been short on money, or I've not even spent it with my family, or something's happened around Christmas, so we haven't been thinking about Christmas at all, or stuff like that. So I haven't really got hyped up and got geared up for Christmas and been like, oh yeah, Christmas is coming and all this shit. So I've recently been thinking about it like properly, instead of just going, oh, Christmas is shit. Christmas isn't like it used to be in the 90s and all this. Because what it feels like is there's no Christmas songs anymore. Nobody's making Christmas songs. Yeah. There's no Christmas movies coming out that aren't just like shitty comedies or sequels have already made Christmas films, and it feels like the world cares about as much about Christmas as I do, which is not all. But thinking about it in a different way, I think it's just been me and the context I've been put into around Christmas. Like, I don't go out a whole lot. I also live in Bradford, and Bradford's effort at Christmas is putting up a tree, and that's it. A lot, like if you go to London at Christmas, all the stores are like Christmas up to the fucking nines. And, so I think because I live in Bradford, like see that much Christmas stuff. I don't go out a lot, and when I do, there isn't that much Christmas stuff around. I only really go to small supermarkets like Aldi or a local small Tesco that don't make such a huge effort at Christmas. I don't watch TV. Like, I don't have a TV box. I don't sit through ads and stuff. So I don't see the Christmas ads. I don't see the yearly Coca-Cola ad or anything like that. And most of the content that I consume is like creator content, YouTubers and like Netflix stuff. And, but I also think it's true that not much Christmas music comes out. But then at the same time, I don't listen to radio or anything, and I'm not going to actively seek out Christmas music. So
Christmas movies have been coming out and stuff. They're just not as good as they used to be. Like, do you know that movie Bad Mums?
Yeah,
they made a Christmas one.
Bad Christmas or
like a Bad Mum
Christmas Mums or something.
And it's just, when we were growing up, I felt like Christmas was more about the essence of it, like spending time with your family, and it was about the idea and the feeling. Yeah. And now it's more about the sparkles and the money and shit like that.
Yeah, I think another thing about it is the magic was obviously stronger when you're a kid because you believe in Santa. Yeah. Your parents make an effort to do the house up, and
like even when you realised Santa was a massive scam, you were just still looking forward to gifts and
gifts and stuff like
all the nice food and shit.
Like, as I grew up, my mum couldn't wait to stop making an effort at Christmas. Like, minimum effort on decorating the house. Christmas dinner would just be like a big sausage roll or something. As a family, we don't really buy each other gifts anymore. Like, I'll buy my dad DVDs when a new film comes out, but that's just because my dad. But yeah, like I say, I don't. Like, I used to think Christmas was dying and we should just stop celebrating. It's a waste of everyone's money. But now I'm starting to realise that maybe it's just the context that I've put myself in.
Yeah.
Plus, last Christmas I celebrated it with my girlfriend's family in France. So it didn't feel like Christmas at all for me, because it's a very different Christmas in France. But obviously for my girlfriend, that's how every Christmas is for her. So obviously she had the magic of Christmas again, whereas I was like, what's this weird thing going on? Why are we having toast with salmon on top of it for Christmas and stuff like that?
Yeah, my Christmases have always been very like focused on tradition as well. So like, my mum don't buy the Christmas cake. Like, she'll make it from scratch.
Yeah,
and it's just like a month-long thing. She'll get all the raisins and that together, and she'll soak them in brandy for like a week. And she'll bake it all. No one can go in the kitchen when she's baking it, because any tiny noise and she's like, the cake will flatten out, so no, you're not allowed to go in the kitchen. And if you do, you've got to fucking open the door, close it, and like tiptoe like a motherfucker around. And then it sits on the side after she's baked it up until Christmas. So it's very, very like traditional. We also like will buy a few boxes of like Quality Streets and stuff like that. But we can't eat them until a few days before Christmas we don't open up. So like, as kids, we were always excited to get that fucking box open.
Yeah.
We also had advent calendars, and we had this proper dope advent calendar, mate. It was basically like a letterbox, like a 3D letterbox thing. And every day we'd come down, we'd pull out a little parcel from the letterbox, we'd open it up, and there'd be little chocolate in there.
I always wanted a Lego one.
Yeah.
You know, you get like Lego minifigs or like a mini set to build something, and then at the end all the sets come together to build something else.
I saw a really cool one recently. It was basically a big brown box, mate, right? And every day you rip open a thing and you pull out a different draft beer.
Alright.
It looked awesome. It was like really 60 quid or something. But
no way.
But yeah, that's a great idea. It's very, very traditional. We also we only put the decorations up like 12 days before Christmas. We take it down 12 days after.
Yeah.
If we can be bothered. So I don't know, for me Christmas has always been like a fun time. As a kid, I really enjoyed it.
I think recently, the Christmas magic for me has always been when I go to yours, and you've got like you can't move in the living room without touching a Christmas decoration, and like your mum's got the same Christmas film on loop all day.
You mean Polar Express?
Yeah, Polar Express. And like, because I'll usually come on Boxing Day or New Year's or something, and we'll have like a mini Christmas experience, like a buffet and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's always really cool. But I think that's as close as I've come to actually celebrating a proper like British Christmas in years and years. Like I don't even think I'm going to decorate my. Well, no, I know for a fact I'm not going to decorate my apartment. I always hated decorating actually because I was like, what's the point? We're going to take it down in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's different when it's just you and your girlfriend living in an apartment because like you're only doing it for your own benefit, and if neither of you can be bothered,
Yeah, and there's
no point. But like if you've got kids and stuff like that, you do it for the kids. And obviously my mum really loves Christmas. In fact, she loved Christmas so much that she didn't want me to stop believing in Santa Claus. So I was like one of the last people in my school to stop believing, because every time someone would be like, "It's not even real," I'd go and be like, "Mum, is Santa Claus real?" And she'd be like, "You fucking course he is. You better believe in him." And I'm like, all right, I will.
I feel like your mum's very into that like magical feel.
She really is.
Like Disneyland.
She loves Disneyland.
Yeah.
Because of the magic and all that.
Yeah.
But I felt like she was very selfish of her forcing me to carry on believing in Santa Claus for such a long time.
It sounds like she stopped believing in Santa Claus too soon, didn't she? She wanted to vicariously experience the magic of Santa Claus through her kids.
I don't know.
That's like what we talked about in the last episode. We were talking about psychoanalyzing people.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I just did.
She does that with... she did do that with her grandchildren as well. When Ellie were born, the first of her grandchildren, even though like Ellie got to a point where she was too old and too tall to be like picked up in her arms and cuddle and stuff, my mum would still do it. I'm like, "Mum, she's like 3 years old, stop it." Like she'd be cradling like a little baby, and I'm like, "Mum, I know you liked the period where she was, freshly born and that newborn baby smell and all that shit, but come on, man, she's 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, well, and luckily my other sister's been popping them out quite frequently, so she can always go back to the latest child she's had. I say that she's only had 4.
Yeah.
The latest one was like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
2 months ago, I think. He's getting big now. When I first saw Jackson, he was like a little tiny wrinkly goblin. He was really small, and he's just got so big now. Proper looks like his dad.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. He definitely looks like his dad.
He's like started smiling at things and stuff now. Like
Right.
Every now and then Helen will just look down at him and he's like giggling at something. Well, like, not full on like laughing, but someone's like tickled him and he's just got this big grin on his face, like mouth open and everything. It's pretty fun. He's also fucking adamant about controlling his own head. He just sits there and his head's bobbing around, just trying to fucking control it. Cool little child. I keep messing around with Helen, and I'm like, I don't even think his name's Jackson, because they must have got it wrong. He's not responding. What if he's like called Bartholomew or something? So I'm just every time she calls him Jackson, I say a different random male name I can think of. I'm like messing the progress up.
Right, well, we're coming towards the end of the podcast, and we have a promise to uphold from last podcast.
2 chapters.
2 chapters of My Immortal. If you didn't listen to the last podcast, you kind of need to, at least the last like 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So basically, we're reading this fan fiction that my sister sent us about a girl who's living in Hogwarts and has a
gothic
crush.
girl.
Yeah, a gothic girl lives in Hogwarts, got a crush on
a gothic Draco Malfoy.
a very gothic Draco Malfoy. Okay, so the page is just loading. Chapter 5. Right, so as you'll remember, those
we
who
left
heard,
off where
he put his thingy in her you-know-what.
and she was about to get an orgasm, and Mr. Dumbledore, in his infinite wisdom, said, "What the fuck's going on here, motherfuckers?"
Yep. So, here's a note, annotation. It says AN and then colon. Does that mean annotation?
Author note.
Oh, author note, okay. Stop flaming. If you flame, it means you're a prep or a poser.
Okay.
The only reason Dumbledore swore is cause he had a headache. Okay? And on top of that, he was mad at them for having sex with 2 exes. P.S. I'm not updating until I get 5 good reviews.
So what's to do with 5 good reviews?
Dumbledore made Draco and I follow him. He kept shouting at us angrily. You ludicrous fools, he shouted. I started to cry tears of blood down my pallid face.
For fuck's sake. Do you know where that's from? That's totally a fucking True Blood thing, innit? When the vampires cry, they cry blood.
Alright, okay. Draco comforted me. When we went back to the castle, Dumbledore took us to Professor Snape and Professor McGonagall, who were both looking very angry. They were having sexual intercourse in the Forbidden Forest, he yelled in a furious voice. Why did you do such a thing, you mediocre dunces? Asked Professor McGonagall. How dare you? Demanded Professor Snape.
How dare you?
And then Draco shrieked, because I love her! Everyone was quiet. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall still looked mad, but Professor Snape said, Fine, very well. You may go up to your rooms.
Wait, he loves her. Literally the only interaction is, Hi, see ya. There's a concert on in Hogsmeade.
Yeah,
okay.
Draco and I went upstairs while the teachers glared at us. Are you okay, Ebony? Draco asked me gently. Yeah, I guess, I lied. I went to the girls' dorm and brushed my teeth and my hair and changed into a low-cut black floor-length dress with red lace all around it and black high heels. Stop dressing yourself! When I came out, Draco was standing in front of the bathroom and he started to sing I Just Want to Live by Good Charlotte. I was so flattered, even though he wasn't supposed to be there. We hugged and kissed. After that, we said goodnight and he reluctantly went back to his room. She didn't even get an orgasm. Chapter 6, author note. Shut up, preps, okay? P.S. I will not update up till you give good revals.
Why can she write coherently-ish when it's the fan fiction, but when it's the author note, she has a fucking seizure on the keyboard?
It's probably like a thing. The next day I woke up in my coffin, I put on a black miniskirt that was all ripped around the end and a matching top with red skulls all over it and high-heeled boots that were black. I put on 2 pairs of skull earrings and 2 crosses in my ears. I spray-painted my hair purple. She lives in the wizarding world and she has to spray paint her hair.
What about, did she put on a boot?
She put on 2 boots. In the Great Hall, I ate some Count Chocula cereal with blood instead of milk and a glass of red blood.
Red blood? I prefer bloody blue blood, me, mate. Like, it's just got such a berry flavour to it.
Suddenly someone bumped into me. All the blood spilled over my top. Bastard! I shouted angrily. I regretted saying it when I looked up because I was looking into the pale white face of a gothic boy with spiky black hair with red streaks in it. He was wearing so much eyeliner that I was going down his face, and he was wearing black lipstick.
That it was going down his face.
Presumably. He didn't have glasses anymore, and now he was wearing red contact lenses just like Draco's, and there was no scar on his forehead anymore.
Oh no, his Harry Potters are gone.
He had a manly stubble on his chin. He had a sexy English accent. He looked exactly like Joel Madden.
A sexy English accent?
I don't know.
Isn't every witch and wizard in Hogwarts English?
Presumably this girl is as well. He was so sexy that my body went all hot, and when I saw him, kind of like an erection, only I'm a girl, so I don't get one, you sicko.
Fuck off with your author notes mid-sentence.
I'm so sorry, he said in a shy voice. That's all right. What's your name? I questioned.
Oh, God.
My name's Harry Potter.
It really is him.
Although most people call me Vampire these days.
Oh my God.
Why? I exclaimed. Because I love the taste of human blood, he giggled. Well, I'm a vampire, I confessed. Really? He whimpered. Yeah, I roared. We sat down to talk for a while, then Draco came up behind me and told me he had a surprise for me, so I went away with him. End of chapter 6.
Anticlimactic.
I say we do 2 more chapters because they're only short.
4 chapters every episode.
Okay, chapter 7. Bring Me to Life with a number 2.
Oh, fuck off.
Author note. Well, okay, you guys. I'm only writing this because I got 5 God reviews. And BTW, I won't write the next chapter till I get 10 God Vons. Store flaming or I'll report who. Ebony isn't a Mary Sue, okay? She isn't perfect. She is a satanist. And she has problems. She's depressed. For God's sake.
For Satan's sake, she fucking means it.
Draco and I held our pale white hands with black nail polish as we went upstairs. I was wearing...
Can we just, like, why... We get that your dress... your dress sense is questionable at best. We get it. Stop reminding us every fucking other sentence that your nails are black or your fucking miniskirt's got frilly fucking red ribbons and shit.
I was wearing red satanist sings on my nails in red nail polish. Author note, see, does that sound like a Mary Sue to you? Yes. You know what a Mary Sue is, right? So a Mary Sue is when you create a perfect version of yourself. Or, yeah, it's usually like a fantasy version of yourself. And you implant it into this fantasy world that you're a fan of.
Right.
But then she's perfect and everybody loves it. It's basically Superman.
Okay.
Superman's the ultimate Mary Sue.
Right. So like if I were to write a fan fiction about Uncharted and I just took the limelight away from Nathan Drake and my character is basically me but just 10 times better than Nathan, I'd be a Mary Sue.
Yep. I waved to Vampire. Dark misery was in his depressed eyes. I think she means Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I guess he was jealous of me that I was going out with Draco. Anyway, I went upstairs excitedly. Jealous of her? So he wants Draco.
Oh, please, no. No. If there's this fucking bisexual orgy between them, I'm checking out. I'm gonna keep reading.
Anyway, I went upstairs excitedly with Draco. We went into his room and locked the door. Then, we started Frenching. Passively. I think she means passionately. And we took off each other's clothes enthusiastically. Maybe she'll get an orgasm this time. He felt me up before I took off my top. Then I took off my black leather bra.
Ah, fuck off. Why wear leather as undergarments, man? That's got to be fucking awful. There's no breathe.
And he took off his pants. We went on the bed and started making out naked. And then he put his boy's thingy in mine and we had sex. Walter note, see, is that stupid?
He put his boy's thingy
in her boy's thingy. Oh, Draco, Draco. Oh, Draco! Oh, I screamed while getting an orgasm up when all of a sudden I saw a tattoo I've never seen before on Draco's arm. It was a black heart with an arrow through it. On it, bloody gothic writing, were the words, Vampire. I was so angry. You bastard! I shouted angrily, jumping out of the bed. No, you don't understand, Draco pleaded. But I knew too much. No, you fucking idiot, I shouted. You probably have AIDS anyway.
What?
I don't know.
What does she understand? She understands something. Is he fucking Harry Potter?
Oh, hang on. I put on my clothes, all huffily, and then stomped out. Draco ran out even though he was naked. He had a really big you-know-what, but I was too mad to care. I stomped out and did so until I was in Vampire's classroom where he was having a lesson with Professor Snape and some other people. Vampire Potter, you motherfucker! I yelled. Chapter 8. Author note, stop flassing, okay, if you do D-prep. Everyone in the class stared at me, and then Draco came into the room, even though he was naked, and started begging me to take him back.
Fuck, Draco? Saw you shit out.
Ebony, it's not what you think, Draco screamed sadly. My friend Bloody Mary... There's a B after apostrophe for no reason. My friend Bloody Mary Smith smiled at me understatedly. She flipped her long, waist-length gothic black hair.
Oh, fuck off!
And opened her crimson eyes like blood. She was wearing contact lenses on. She had pale white skin that she was wearing white makeup on. Hermione was kidnapped when she was born. Her real parents are vampires, and one of them is a witch, but Voldemort killed her mother, and her father committed suicide because he was depressed about it. She still has nightmares about it, and she is very haunted and depressed. It also turns out her real last name is Smith, and not Granger. Since she has converted to Satanism, she is in Slytherin now, not Gryffindor.
Was that an author note, or is that just literally part of the story?
An author note.
Okay.
It just didn't say author note.
So basically, right, anyone who's worth writing about in this book is going to be a goth.
Yeah. What is it that you desire, you ridiculous dimwit? Snape demeaned angrily in his cold voice, but I ignored him. Vampire... Wait, I've lost my... I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco! I shouted at him. Everyone gasped.
What? Hang on. I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco. Was she ever going out with Vampire Potter?
Oh, yeah.
I
don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. What? I had went out with Vampire, I'm bi and so is Ebony, for a while, but then he broke my heart. He dumped me because he liked... Are we seeing this from Draco's point of view now? He dumped me because he liked Brittany, a stupid preppy fucker. We were just good friends now. He had gone through horrible problems and now he was a gothic. Now he was gothic.
So is Draco explaining what happened?
I think so. Haha, like I would hang out with a prep. But I'm not going out with Draco anymore, said Vampire. Yeah, fucking right, you bastard! Fuck off! I screamed. I ran out of the room and into the Forbidden Forest where I had lost my virility to Draco, and then I started to burst into tears. So, there's usually 2 chapters per page, but this one's 3 chapters, so you're in luck. Another chapter on its way.
Sick.
Chapter 9. Author note.
Okay.
Stop flaming, okay?
Oh my god, we get it!
I didn't read all the books. This is from the movie, okay? So it's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. Beswitched. I said he had a headache, and the reason the resin, Snap, doesn't lick Harry now is cause he's Christian and Vampire is a Satanist.
Wait, Snape?
Not Snape's Christian.
Snape's Christian?
And then MCR rocks.
Why the fuck, right?
What's that? I wish we had a camera for that. What was that? It was like you were trying to flab and take off.
That's me being probably like fucking just in awe of the stupidity of this. The wizarding world, right, don't buy into Muggle religion and stuff. So why the fuck is Snape a Christian? And he's like the most fucking edgiest person in the whole fucking universe.
Yeah.
So it'd never be a Christian, it'd be a Satanist or whatever she said.
Satanist. I was so mad and sad. I couldn't believe Draco for cheating on me. I began to cry against the tree where I did it with Draco. Then all of a sudden, Anne, horrible man, with red eyes and no nose, and everything started flying towards me on a broomstick.
Voldemort goth as well now.
He didn't have a nose, basically like Voldemort in the movie. And he was wearing all black, but it was obvious he wasn't gothic. It was ... Voldemort. Voldemort. No!
Why did you say he was like Voldemort? Why did you say he is Voldemort? Fucking hell.
No! I shouted in a scared voice, but then Voldemort shouted, Imperious! And I couldn't run away. What? Crookshanks! I shouted at him. Voldemort fell off his broom and started to scream. I felt bad for him even though I'm a sadist, so I stopped.
I felt bad for him even though I'm a sadist.
So I stopped.
Why even say that?
Ebony, he yelled. Thou must kill Vampire Potter. I thought about Vampire and his sexa eyes and his gothic black hair and how his face looks just like Joel Madden. I remember that Draco had said I didn't understand, so I thought, what if Draco went out with Vampire before I went out with him and they broke up? That's what he said. That's what he said. No, Voldemort! I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun.
Voldemort gave me a gun? What the fuck did that come from? Oh my god. It's Harry Potter, it's magic, mate. What the fuck?
No, please, I begged. Thou must, he yelled. If thou does not, then I shall kill thy beloved Draco.
Why?
How did you know?
I
asked in a surprise question. I don't know. Voldemort got a dude you're so retarded look on his face. I have telekinesis, he answered cruelly.
Telekinesis? What's he doing? Like levitating cameras around watching?
And if you doth not kill Vampire, then thou will know what will happen to Draco.
Why Shakespearean the whole man?
I don't know. He shouted, then he flew away angrily on his broomstick.
Just imagine his face as he flies away like...
I was so scared and mad I didn't know what to do. Suddenly Draco came into the woods. Draco! I said. Hi. Hi, he said back, but his face was all sad. He was wearing white foundation and messy eyeliner, kind of like a pentagram. Why are they taking time to go and change the makeup before they come out? Between Joel Madden and Gerard Way. Are you okay? I asked. No. Are you okay? I asked. No, he answered. I'm sorry I got all mad at you, but I thought you cheated on me. I expelled. That's okay, he said, all depressed, and we went back to Hogwarts together, making out. just walking together, like faces stuck together, walking into trees and shit. I'm afraid that's the end of chapter 9.
What the fuck, man? I'm just... Every time she explains, like, she's all like, gothic hair. It's like, okay, we know everyone's a goth.
I think you mean gothic hair, son. Right, okay, we're going well over the hour mark, but I just needed to keep going. I couldn't stop. So, we'll see what happens next time.
I think we should make a proper cringy fanfic about something. Erotic fanfic.
Erotic fanfic. Definitely. About us.
No, that's too weird, mate. I can't sit there and come up with storylines with you about us doing shit to each other.
Alright, okay. I'll do it myself.
His greasy ginger prick in my anus. See something right, is it?
That was just... Okay, thanks for listening.
Let's not look at each other for a while.
Yeah, I think we'll exactly do that. So, thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter at UT2cast. Go to our website, ut2cast.podbean.com.
iTunes? We're on iTunes?
Yeah, we're on iTunes as well. You should be able to find us by typing in Untitled-2 space podcast. Yeah, so thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. Have a very, very nice Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yes, son.